I got into an interesting discussion with Kush today about Yellowjackets.
Oh, I watched that.
I know you watched the season finale.
I was really that was a contra as opposed to Daredevil. This was a very exciting season finale.
So
And I think it's been a good season overall. A lot has happened this season.
I'm not down with this season as much, honestly. There's just been too much. I mean, again, it's almost the word that comes to mind is chaotic. I'm talking about the present and future timelines that they're showing. I'm trying to think of some of the points we were trying to make for this season. It got too weird with that supernatural shit. I feel like what it's trying to do.
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
Okay, that's fine. This is my opinion. What I think it's trying to do, I think it's trying to be like that first season of Lost.
I haven't watched any Lost.
Okay. Well, in the series Lost, in the first season, you really don't know what's going on. There's weird shit happening. You're not sure if it's supernatural or if there isn't a natural explanation for it. You don't know. So you come back to keep saying, what is this thing down in the tree tunnel hole that they keep going into in the woods? And, what is all this stuff? And see, the thing with Lost is they explain that as you go through what everything is, all the weird shit they hear and see.
Well, what hasn't been explained?
Again, like the whole Joel McHale storyline, that makes no sense to me. These three people just randomly appear. These kids have been in these woods for over a year.
They
burned
to
their
the
cabin.
Frogs.
They burned their cabin.
Those three people were going to the frogs. It's got nothing to do with the girls.
But I'm saying Joel McHale seemed like he'd been there. Seemed like he goes there.
Why do you think that?
Because that's how I interpreted it.
I know what has led you to believe that.
Okay, I mean, and I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just talking about the discussion we had.
Okay, I know. I'm asking, like I always do. I ask you to provide evidence for the claims you make.
Well, again, I didn't understand the Joel McHale part of the story unless it wraps up tonight.
It's pretty much already wrapped up. He was a guide that these two people hired to take him to the frog place.
He specifically said that he knew that area of woods, though. They had a discussion about it.
I'm sure that's why they hired him.
Okay, so follow me here. It's been over a year. Okay, and this guy acted like he does this all the time. Would you agree?
I'm sure.
Joel McHale?
Yes, as a woods guide.
Okay, fine. So what I'm saying is these girls have been crashed. It didn't make any sense to me.
No, he hadn't been there for a while.
Again,
the woods are huge, dude.
I understand the woods are huge, dude, but you burn a cabin in the middle of the woods, it's a pretty big signal fire. I mean, it's like lighting the fires of Gondor. It's pretty
really
bright in the night.
Fires happen all the time, and even I don't know, dude.
Yeah. Again, and then okay, so there's that, and then there's also the kind of the Elijah Wood storyline.
That's
in the
another
present.
Tangential one that has nothing to do with the main story stuff.
I'm saying that's my problem.
You're paying too much. You're paying too much attention to the peripheral stuff.
And because the show is attracting me to it, making me feel like it's an important part.
It's called
of the plot.
It's called a red herring.
I mean,
you're the mark.
I don't like watching an entire show of red herrings.
It's not though. You have what's the strange interpretation.
All right. Now you're on this bust my balls campaign. I'm not even going to finish.
It's just a weird take. It's just a weird take. I can't help you.
Well, you don't need to fucking help me. I'm just giving my opinion of the show. Pretty plain and simple.
I know, but when you don't have anything to base it on.
I gave you examples. You won't accept them as examples, so there's no
said
point
there's nothing to it.
Again, this guy shows up with these two people. No precursor. No, like there's.
They were going to find the special frogs that come out to mate.
I understand that, and I got it. Okay? I got it. I'm just saying that it.
And they didn't know the people were there. They heard them and chanced upon them after they were at their camp.
That's what I'm saying. That's just, you don't find that a little bit kind of It's kind of fucking lazy. You know? No?
Sure, I guess.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's
not
like it's
really.
Not
There's
really,
frogs that they're there
like they're
for.
throwing shit in the
mating
show
frogs,
to fill plot holes.
The mating frogs that they hear screaming in the woods. It makes sense. See, it's not supernatural.
I don't think so.
It's logical.
I don't think so.
Why would scientists be studying this in the same place these girls are? That doesn't make any sense.
No, that's not what doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense is that if they're studying these frogs that are so fucking special and so hard to get to, and you've got a guy in Joel McHale that acts like he does this shit. I don't care what you fucking say. He acts like he's does this like every weekend. That's the impression I got from him.
Does
in this
what?
part of the woods.
Does what?
Takes people and guides them in the woods as a guide, as a wilderness guide. I mean, people do that for a fucking job, dude. It's a real job.
Yes, and what's strange about that?
That he is again in this part of the woods where we've had cabins burning and they've been fucking each other and they scream and they dance and nobody heard anything. Nobody saw anything. Nobody knew anything. Nobody did anything about it.
I don't know, dude. That's a very odd take about how he's supposed to know everything that's happening in these woods.
I'm not saying
because
he was supposed to know what was
guide.
happening. I was explaining that it's just felt kind of thrown in there because they were like, okay, how are we going to get him home?
That's not.
We got to figure out how we get him home.
That's not how they're getting him home.
Well, again, I that's what I'm saying. I'm speaking off not seeing the finale. I may
the
change
girl,
my opinion
the girl.
completely.
No, I mean even where you're at though, the girl that was introduced with them, the scientist, has the tape. The tape was the whole evidence that got to Shauna and everything.
So what about the? And again, I don't know because I haven't watched the finale. But the female that was the female scientist that killed
Hannah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
what about her? She didn't make it back.
Okay. Again,
that's her daughter.
I'll have to watch it.
Her daughter is the one that's with.
Right.
The one girl.
Hillary Swank.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Which again.
And here's the part you find out in this episode that the letter Hillary Swank wrote was there that explained everything that she was sorry and all this stuff. All these bad things that have been the spirits or other people's not.
Well, again, like I said, seeing a finale can sometimes wrap things up.
Well,
for
sure,
you,
yeah.
And maybe that's my problem is there's too many unanswered questions and I
know.
worry about them answering them all.
Okay, that's why I was just hoping those would be the ones that you asked instead of ones like, why does the guide not know these people are out here?
No, I don't get. Again, that felt it felt thrown in to me. I mean, just felt forced. That okay, well, they just happens to be these two scientists in the forest, and they just happen to be with Joel McHale, who's a survivalist, and they just happen to be in the area of the woods where the girls are, and up to that point, it's like alive. It's like there's no.
You saw him get killed.
Civilization in sight.
You saw him get killed in the last episode, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but that's again.
Well, you keep acting.
What's the point of him being there? What did he add to anything?
Now that's a different take. I thought you were mad that he was there.
No, I said I was mad that he was just thrown in. There was no exposition of why.
Yeah, there was. They had their whole tent and everything and doing the frogs.
Anyway.
Makes a lot more sense than Siler just showing up on the road without explanation.
Okay. Again, I don't agree. Well, I don't agree with that.
I know we can agree to disagree, but I mean, you just can be wrong. Like you always are.
You're never wrong. So.
Well, I know I'm plenty wrong.
Oh, you're never wrong.
But I'd like to weigh the evidence.
We've had this discussion. I'm not doing
versus the claims.
I'm not doing it. We've had this argument. I'm not doing it. You always think you're right, no matter what anybody says. Let's move on.
But it's entertaining, I think.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you're entertained. I'm
not
being stubborn.
Yeah,
I'm giving my
are.
opinion, and you're saying I'm wrong.
Well, I'm saying your opinion doesn't
as if an
sense.
opinion can be fucking wrong.
It
just
can.
goes to show how.
You know, some people have opinions like the Earth is flat. Is that not wrong?
See, you brought this shit up the last. I mean, again, I don't know what your whole idea is with this flat Earth shit.
No, well, you just said opinions can't be wrong. Is that not an incorrect opinion to have?
I'm not getting into this. Yes, it is. Yeah.
See, so opinions.
But we're talking about
so
television shows
opinions,
versus the fucking shape of the
so
earth.
opinions can be wrong. In fact,
Can
you agree with that?
How do you determine?
Can you agree with
how
that?
do you determine which opinion's wrong?
Well, I'm not saying.
How do you determine that?
By studying it and looking at
By
the
studying it
evidence.
and looking at it. So you studied Yellowjackets, have you? You studied the episodes? You
No,
know
I
what they're
studied the
talking
Earth,
about?
the flat Earth.
Okay, now you're talking about two different things.
No, you started. We're going on. Can opinions be wrong?
Okay, and I said, yes, they
No,
can
you
be.
didn't. You said opinions can't be
When
wrong.
you said-
that's where you
when you-
started. That's what just started this whole thing. You went, it's an opinion. It can't be incorrect.
Dude,
it can't be wrong. And then I said, well, what about people that have the
You
opinion?
just don't even. You
the flat
overtalk
Earth?
people, and that's what you do.
Is that
you
what I'm
overtalk
doing?
people. Yeah, you overtalk people, and
Well, you just
until
changed what
just-
you said.
You just gaslight the fuck out of them until they just don't want to say anything
You said it,
anymore.
and you didn't say it.
You asked me, is that a wrong opinion of the Earth being
No,
flat?
you
And I said,
you
yes.
said you cannot have an incorrect opinion. You said
I
opinions
said how?
cannot be
I
wrong.
said how can an opinion be wrong?
There you go. And I said, well, yeah.
Okay,
you can have
again,
a wrong opinion of
Maybe
things.
we're getting into semantics and wording and shit because you just hate being wrong
No.
or even insinuating that you're wrong.
Well, I just don't like you saying
and you've
things.
always been that way.
You can't say things that are obviously false.
What?
You can't say opinions can't be wrong.
Again, my opinion on a television show that really doesn't have any of this
That's not what you
fucking
said.
research
You didn't say that.
you're talking
You
about that you
didn't
have to have
say-
for an accurate opinion.
You didn't say my-
okay?
you
and
didn't
I'm
say-
saying my opinion, it may not be your opinion, but that doesn't mean it's a wrong opinion. Are you telling me nobody else questioned Joel McHale's fucking appearance
No.
in that fucking show?
I'm saying there's a difference between saying your opinions on TV shows cannot be incorrect than your opinions.
Okay,
cannot be
Christian.
incorrect.
Fine.
There you go.
Okay, are you happy?
Very.
Your opinion on fucking TV shows can be wrong or right. Jesus Christ.
No, it can't be wrong because it's your opinion. It's based on what you like.
Did
and
you watch
whatnot.
anything else?
No, just Heroes, I think.
Oh, always making it easy for me. All right. Hey, this is Ryan Zipp. Really appreciate you checking out the clip. We got a lot more for you if you check out our official YouTube channel at youtube.com/the Geek Zip podcast. We've got live streams from past, and we've also got videos as well, clips, all kinds of fun stuff for you to check out. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Discord. Look for everything in the description, and we'll see you on the next one.